friends that were even, more inflammatory if people wanted to call the comments that inflammatory.
Congressman Joe Sestak, the highest-ranking military veteran in Congress, is a retired three-star admiral. Congressman, thanks very much for joining us. And what do you imagine is going on in that national security meeting right now?
Well, I'm sure they're debating if the strategy is working and how well it's going to have to work in order to achieve what we wanted to. But without a question, the president has made a decision, I think, and is letting them know. He's balanced two things. One, we have a general who broke the military code, where you go into someone's room who's senior to you and you might let them know that you don't like the cut of their jib. But when you step outside, you don't talk about it, and you demand the same of your troops. General McChrystal broke that. But at the same time, this president has to make a decision that a man who was very integral in developing this strategy, as we're about on an offensive in Kandahar, how needed is he for the mission? That is the decision this president has to make. The good of the mission versus what, absent of that, would be cause for his dismissal.
And as the highest-ranking military man in the U.S. Congress, seeing what happened in Marja didn't go the way we wanted it to, knowing what's at stake going into Kandahar, what decision do you think you would make?
I don't know what I would make, and I'm going to be upfront about that. And I served at the National Security Council for President Clinton. I saw decisions being made to almost go to war with North Korea. We moved carriers off of Taiwan, and we went into Bosnia. Until you sit in that seat, all of us out here can say what we can do, but until you sit there, you really don't know. But I do believe this strategy, which the president articulated best a year ago in March, was supposed to stand, not Afghanistan, where al-Qaeda is. And that the purpose, he told us then, was to have a series of metrics, benchmarks, by which we could measure success and failure. I supported the president in his decision. But I think, as you have seen, we have focused so much on Afghanistan rather than being able to articulate to the public who is investing in this strategy, is it working against the al-Qaeda, which is the threat to us, but are in Pakistan.
So let me ask you specifically, Congressman, about Pakistan, because one of the things that we heard this morning was that Pakistani officials are saying they want General McChrystal to stay. He has built these relationships with people in Pakistan on a day-to-day basis. As you have to take all of the different competing interests, you have to weigh what's most important, what's not. How much importance do you give to his relationship with the people who are leading Pakistan?
Yes. And Chris, you said it very well. You don't dismiss this, because the whole purpose, as General Secretary Gates said, our primary purpose in a closed hearing before the House said, was to have troops there that surge to help seal the border with Pakistan, so if we can convince Pakistan to go after the al-Qaeda, because we can't physically go there, they won't feel as though they'll flow into Afghanistan. That trust that this general has built has to be considered. General Powell also said something very important. He said once, restraint is the characteristic most admired in man. Unfortunately, Chris, that's not so in politics. So I hope the president is making this decision, and I believe he will, as a commander-in-chief that gives due regard to these relationships and all for the mission. Because quite frankly, this was wrong what he did. But remember, President Reagan made it very clear, the head of the OMB, that he had taken him to the outhouse and then proceeded on the mission. So that's the delicacy of this decision, not politics. Is he necessary or not, or can General Mattis or someone else step in and do just as well? And only the commander-in-chief can make that decision. That's what he's paid for, not politics, but doing the right thing. And he's the only one. I won't judge it for him.
Congressman Sestak, we thank you for your expertise and your time today, and we are just getting word that the president has thrown